Back in 2020, I started a skincare company called Bauer Beauty when I was 34 years old. I spent years and years and years in my 20s trying different companies, not being able to bring anything to fruition. After failing so many times, I realized one of the keys was commitment. I just had to choose a target and stick with it no matter what. So I wanted to choose something that I was passionate about, but also I had like a logical reason to choose the thing. So I chose skin because I struggled with breakouts and acne for so long. So back in 2014, I decided to stick with skin no matter what. And it wasn't for 6 years later until I actually launched my company. So yeah, it was a long road. The hardest thing is like bringing the thing from just like a non-idea to an operating idea, an idea that's actually tangible. And so at some point it became really important for me just to bring something tangible to the market. Like I just needed to do that in any possible way. Fast forward to end of 2019, I had saved up enough money. I just decided to purchase a course called Amazing Selling Machine. I had researched this course extensively, but it was so expensive I didn't want to invest in it. But I believed in it so wholeheartedly at the time and had seen such good results from people I knew that I was like, dude, I'm going to get this. And it's like a guaranteed way to launch a business. So it really for me was a guaranteed way to launch a business. Within 4 months, I launched the Bauer Beauty Collagen Peptide Serum. It allowed me to bring Bauer Beauty to the marketplace. It allowed me to launch the company in a tangible way, and it worked. I really wanted to get to like 10 sales a day or 20 sales a day or something like that. I got on TikTok in like September of 2020. Within like a month, my TikTok just like blew up. And so that blew my sales up. I went from like a few sales a day to like 50 sales a day to like 100 sales a day to like all my inventory was like run through. It was like gone. That was actually traumatizing for me because I was dependent on Amazon at the time, and Amazon punishes you essentially for going out of stock. Amazon is a search engine, so the whole game is trying to get your product to the top of the search. And then my product was at the top of the search, and then everything sold out. And then Amazon punishes you for that. So that like really fucked with my head so much that I was kind of traumatized up until like a week ago. Literally, it made me not want to sell anything anymore. It made me draw this weird comparison of like selling things equals like something catastrophic is going to happen. I like struggled with the idea of inventory for so long. I even was like, I don't even know if I want a consumer product business because I don't want to manage inventory. Inventory is too complicated. I go back in stock and I have decent sales volume still because I'm directing a lot of traffic from TikTok and Instagram. Had a goal to reach 100,000 a month in 2021. I am doing approximately $20,000 per month per product. So if I launch 5 more products, that will get me to like 150,000 or something. It was like me as a super naive, impatient entrepreneur. Spoiler alert, that is not what fucking happened. Now I see in hindsight what I should have done, but of course it's hindsight's 2020. Like I was accumulating so much money and it was out of my comfort zone, and like I didn't have a financial advisor, which I would now, if I could go back, say that that's probably the number one thing I needed. My goal was to also reinvest everything I made that year back into the business instead of putting it into taxes. I wanted to basically spend the money as quick as possible. So some of those investments were good, but the majority were very impulsive and impatient and uneducated decisions. Vitamin C, glycolic, BHA, and barrier serum. Those are the products that I launched in that era of I'm trying to get past 100,000. And that did not fucking happen whatsoever. Not at all. Not at all. What happened was my revenue actually stayed the same, but I just had a trillion more SKUs to manage. I hated managing all these SKUs. And so I was doing the same actions that I always had done, but I felt differently about my business than I did before. I couldn't figure out why I felt different. Why does it feel different now? I had the same goals, but for some reason it wasn't working like it used to. I didn't feel hopeful anymore. I felt kind of miserable all the time, and I just didn't know why. I was giving up on the ideas that I once had. I was giving up on the idea of even having a brand at all because I was I don't know if I can do this. This is insane. This is so hard and I don't know how to do it. And everything I'm doing is failing. And now I just spent all my money and I have a warehouse full of inventory. I had so much inventory. The end of 2020 when I had so much inventory, it was literally insane. I still at that point hadn't identified the real problem, which was my original trauma. I was still trying to make Amazon work at this point, even though I had insane problems with them. And the issue is when I got those products, those 4 products in order to try to scale the business, I did that based on the original Amazon launch method that I originally learned in order to launch a company. It just didn't work the same for so many reasons. And I still tried to make Fetch work when Fetch was not working. working at all. So like those products that I bought, they were based on what Amazon said was like a viable product. It wasn't like based on like my instinct, my emotion, nothing like that except for the barrier serum. Then I had all these products, which by the way, like love them all. Like all the products, I still use them. They're all somewhere back here. Like they are amazing. It's nothing like that. It's like, I want to contribute something to the marketplace. I don't want to just sell things to make money. And that's kind of what I found myself doing following this method on Amazon. I really wanted to contribute to the evolution and the innovation of the skincare and beauty landscape. I had done all this unconsciously because I was just like, well, this Amazon strategy clearly works. I was making a lot of money from it. And that's like one major thing I've learned is like the moment you know something is not right, you have to like redirect. I didn't redirect. I doubled down. I tripled down. I was really trying to make Amazon work. Eventually, I kind of just got burnt out on making content because I just felt like I even lost my vision. Something really just didn't feel right still about how that whole situation went down. Because I had to have a come to Jesus. I was like, am I giving up? Like, is that what's happening here? Am I giving up? Because if I'm giving up, let me just give up quick and move on. And then genuinely was guided to like the realizations that I kind of just shared with you. One, I should have just hired a financial advisor when I started making money on Amazon. And then I should have recognized right away, all right, Amazon was a good place to launch, but I'm not going to invest a whole lot there. I'm going to stick with my original strategy, original desire, which was to innovate. It was never about, let me just figure out a product to sell that's going to sell on Amazon, you know? That strategy really had no soul, and I should have recognized that pretty early on. Sometimes, you know, you just get too emotional about things, and I really was too emotional about that, what I was doing originally with the brand. And now it's like I'm back to the realization of exactly what I just said. You know, one thing when you're an entrepreneur is you have to figure out, how am I going to sell what I create? The reason why I liked Amazon was because it was so predictable how I could sell. But it actually wasn't. It changed, the landscape changed a lot. But really it was some of that and then some of like my just general like misalignment. Like it was not aligned for me to be on Amazon so long term. It was really an initial strategy. It did take me this long. It took me so long. I don't know why it took me so long. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of EFT tapping, and like that's just basically the conclusion I came to. It was like, am I supposed to be on social media? Sometimes when I think about just continuing to make skincare and makeup content, I just feel like that's kind of boring. I feel like the industry like knows all it could possibly know. Like what else could I contribute to honestly talk about? Like, I feel like I just have to trust that instinct and let my content evolve as it should evolve. I don't know, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, are you bored of skincare videos? Because I feel like when I started TikTok, the industry didn't know what it needed to know. Like it didn't know the things we think of commonplace now. I'm evolving Bauer Beauty content. I don't really know how. I guess this is one evolution. It's just my experience with Amazon in general and starting a business in general. It's genuinely like that diagram that you see. Entrepreneurship is like, you know that diagram? It's genuinely like feeling like that. So it's like this constant struggle of, well, I refuse to make boring content or content that I'm bored of just to kind of check the box off. And I kind of refuse to not make content. So it's like this weird purgatory of like, all right, well, then what the F do I do? Alex Hormozy is like, all right, well, talk about what you've done. Talk about the things that you've literally done and continue to leverage it. So I'm like, all right, well, let me just talk about what I've done. I mean, that's like what this video was inspired by. It was like, well, just talk about what you've done. So here we are talking about what I'm doing. My collagen peptide serum still sells on Amazon and it's out of stock right now. Honestly, I haven't bought new inventory for it because I don't want to spend the money on inventory for that because there's so many other things that I want to buy. I need to hire people. I need to create new formulas. So even though that product returns is guaranteed to sell, how long is it going to take me to recoup the cost of that investment? The thing is I don't have like it in me to try to increase the sales of the peptide serum. Do you see what I'm saying? So unfortunately, I'm not planning to restock that as of now, which is like a big deal because that's like my first product ever and like I genuinely love it and it's amazing. I'm hiring someone for product development, so I'm recruiting for that. I need someone who's going to be the director of product development who has like direct experience with product development in cosmetics. I want to develop like the most innovative products that you can imagine. I don't know what's going to be restocked. In other words, like if you see it on a website or Amazon, I would buy it because I can pretty much guarantee I don't think I'm going to be repurchasing a lot of this inventory that I currently have. Aside from the barrier serum, I love the barrier serum, like I said. So